and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my summer everyday makeup routine. So this look right here is what I'm creating in today's video, and this makeup look, or slight variations of this look, is basically what I've been wearing for the past 2 months throughout the summer months, and it's what I will probably continue to wear for the rest of summer. It's created using a mixture of drugstore and high-end makeup, so hopefully there are some products in there for everybody. A few new launches as well, so a little sneak peek as to what is to come. And yeah, I'm not going to ramble too much because this could be a terribly long video. So if you'd like to see how I made this makeup look, then carry on watching. The first product I'm going to apply is the Nouveau Lashes Lash and Brow Conditioning Serum. So I'm going to apply this to both my eyelashes and my eyebrows because over summer I've been using individual lash extensions, and while they don't damage the lashes, I always think it's good to nourish them afterwards. Equally on the brows, this product is great because you can use it for both. It just helps to encourage brow hair growth, which I definitely need, so it's really handy that this is a 2-in-1 product. So I've just brushed that through my brows and my lashes as the first step in my makeup routine. Next, I'm using my La Prairie Ice Crystal Serum, and this is an active serum which basically helps the skin to defend itself from the problems that can cause aging. So it works against fatigue, dullness, fine lines, and I'm 24, going on 25, so anything that I can do to help my skin protect itself from aging is good for me. So I just use 1 pump of that, rub it in my hands, and then press that all over my face, and if I have any left on my hands, bring it down to my neck too. Next is my moisturiser, and I'm using the Dr. Seba Supreme Day Cream, and this is a real breakthrough product. I'm really glad I discovered this because it works to protect the skin from HEV, I think it's called. Yes, high energy visible light, which is basically the light that you see coming from things like your computer screen, your laptop screen and your mobile phones. So light that we do see, which Dr. Seba from his research thinks is equally as damaging to the skin as UVA and UVB. The cream also contains antioxidants, so of course it protects the skin from just daily environmental aggressors. And living in London, this is definitely something which I need to consider in my skincare. As well as that, of course, it does the job of being a good moisturiser, sinks in really quickly so I don't have to hang around too long before I apply my makeup, and it also keeps my skin beautifully hydrated throughout the day. So recently I've really been thinking about investing in skincare that has additional benefits, and both the serum and the moisturiser that I'm using at the moment both seem to do this really, really well. And because Dr. Seba doesn't want to compromise the protection from the HEV light, it does not contain any SPF, so of course the next step in my daily routine is to apply an SPF product. In the summer I like to ensure that I have a fairly high factor on my face. My face doesn't tend to tan anyway, so my facial tanning routine is a whole other story, but I'm using the Origins Dr. Andrew Weil Mega Defense SPF 45, and this is a really lovely light product. It's also anti-aging, of course, because it protects from damaging UV rays. So I'm just putting a small amount of that on my hands and then putting that all over my face as the final step in my skincare routine. So considering I've got oily skin, you can tell that these products really don't add any additional oil or grease to my skin, and I'm not looking too shiny considering I've just applied 3 moisturising products to my face. So that's another reason why I really love this combination at the moment. It's really my go-to staple summer skincare routine. So I don't need to wait too long for this to sink in. While it does, I'll just go and make myself a cup of tea before starting with my makeup. Now this is a bit of a tease, I'm sorry, because this foundation is not actually out until the 31st of August, but it's worth the wait, I promise, and it's the Rimmel Fresher Skin Foundation. This is an SPF 15, and it's a very lightweight foundation, and I just absolutely adore the finish of this for summer. It's a really smooth texture, a little bit moussey, and I just take a small amount on my finger, dot it onto the areas of my face, cheeks, chin and forehead, and then I'm going to use my Clinique blending brush just to swirl this in all over the face. So what makes this foundation really fab for summer is that it contains mineral powders within the formula which absorb excess oil throughout the day, meaning that you don't have that dreaded 3 p.m. shine, which for me with my oily combination skin is really, really important. As you can see, it's blending in really easily. Just changed camera angle slightly because I feel like you couldn't really see the effect that the foundation was having on my skin. So hopefully now you can see it's given me beautiful coverage, and I've still got that lovely glow. Even though the foundation does contain oil, it doesn't completely mattify the skin. Next thing I always do in the mornings is apply a little bit of lip balm, mostly for my own comfort but also to prepare my lips for what I'm going to apply later. And I'm not too fussy when it comes to lip balms. At the moment I really like these EOS ones. They're just really small, fun handbag size lip balms. For powder I'm using the YSL Soufflé Eclat. Now this one I really like because it still leaves my skin with a bit of a glow, and if you're powder phobic like I am but you know that you need a little bit of mattification, then this is a really good one. So I start by tapping some of the powder into the lid, and I'm taking my Zoeva Rose Golden fan brush just to lightly pick up some of the powder. It doesn't pick up too much product, which is great if you don't want to be completely matte like myself. By this point I'm usually fairly bored of doing my complexion, so I'm going to move on to brows, and I'm using the Benefit Precisely My Brow Pencil just to comb them through and fill in all of those gaps. I fill in the brows just enough that they have got a decent shape, and I've filled in all the gaps, but to be honest I don't use too much brow product because for an everyday summer makeup look I don't want to look too made up, and I find by using a pencil such as the Benefit one it gives a really natural brow effect as opposed to using something a bit heavier like a gel which looks as though you have done your brows. So I find the pencil to be the perfect balance between done but not looking too done. And then because my brow hair is quite long, I may not have many brow hairs but the ones that I do have are fairly long, I then use the Benefit Gimme Brow just to add a little bit more volume. This acts as kind of a volumizer because it really helps to thicken the individual hairs but also to set my brows in place so they don't go moving around throughout the day. Once that's done, I'm going to move on to the final step for my base, and that's bronzer, and I'm going to be using a Too Faced bronzer. They have so many bronzers available. Today I'm using Sun Bunny, which is their most natural bronzer. It's got these two different shades which you can swirl around to create your perfect shade, and I'm using this absolutely ginormous Marc Jacobs bronzer brush. I just find this so perfect for applying bronzer very naturally because it picks up the perfect amount of product, and also the way that it's shaped means that I can create a little bit of contour as well, which is what I always do. So I'm taking the brush, swirling it all through the middle, and then starting underneath my cheekbones and around my brow hairline, just to create a little bit of shape. So under the cheekbones, I don't contour in summer, so this is the way of creating a little bit of shape to my face, and then moving it around to the areas that the sun would naturally hit. What I love about this Too Faced one is that it does have some shimmer in there, but only in a very natural way, so I'm not sure if you can pick it up on the camera, but it's giving me a beautiful sheen but without looking like I've applied highlighter, which is the perfect balance for my everyday summer makeup look. Another tease, I'm so sorry, this palette isn't out until the 28th of September, but it's the Rimmel MagnifEyes palette in the shade 001 Keep Calm and Wear Gold. So these palettes contain 8 shades. I think there's 4 different palettes to choose from. This one is by far my favourite. These are just all so wearable. There's a mixture of shimmers and mattes and different colour intensities. I'm going to take my Zoeva Rose Golden Luxe Crease Brush, which is basically a big fluffy one, and I'm going to take this really lovely light kind of milky coffee type shade, and I'm going to apply that all over my lid to start with. This is a really good shade if you just want to combat any discoloration on the eyelids or basically create a base for your eyeshadow. Alternatively, if you love a really natural eye look, you could just wear this shade on its own. I tend to use it as a base and then build up from there. And then using the same brush, I'm going to go in with the darker matte shade. If I'm going out or if I want to get dressed up, I would go in with the shimmers, but for today I'm not doing anything special and this is just a very casual everyday look, so I'm going to stick with the matte, and this is the darkest of the matte shades in the palette. So I'm being quite careful here because it's very pigmented, picking up a tiny bit on the brush, tapping off the excess, and I'm just going to go in with the crease area. I'm then taking the Zoeva Rose Golden 234 Luxe Smoky Shader Brush, and this one, if you can see on that angle, is very thin, so it's great for picking up a slightly darker shade if you don't want to use eyeliner but still maybe want to add a bit more definition. So I'm going to take that same shade that I used on the eyelid and then bring it down in place of eyeliner just underneath my lower lashes, and this helps to build a little bit of definition without going for full-on eyeliner. So I really just push that into the lash line. I don't really drag it too much just because the skin is so delicate. Just pushing it into the lash line on the lower lashes and then the edge of the upper lashes too. So as you can see, the effect that this gives just is a little bit more definition in the eyes, but without the full-on harsh effect of an eyeliner, which I tend to skip in the summer months just because I think it looks a little bit too heavy and I prefer to be light and fresh and glowy. So that's my little trick for creating a bit more definition. Next is mascara, and it's another one from Rimmel. Because I've skipped out on the eyeliner, I want to have really big bold lashes, and I'm using the new and improved Scandaleyes mascara. They have completely changed the brush shape now, so it's much easier to get those lashes on the edge because you can see it is more of a, what's the word, pointy at the end type brush, technical term. And I find that it really does help if I curl the lashes first to create really big dramatic lashes. So I'm curling with my usual rose gold Tweezerman lashes, just giving my lashes a quick squeeze, and then coating my lashes in Scandaleyes, just wiggling the brush from root to tip. And you can see instant, real deep black colour and volume within just a couple of strokes. So with just a couple of layers of Rimmel Scandaleyes Reloaded, I forgot to add the reloaded bit earlier, I've got really beautiful big bold lashes and very defined eyes without eyeliner. So this has been my saviour for the past couple of weeks, and what I found is that it's also very long lasting. So despite being really warm like I am now, and it's even sweat proof, 24-hour wear, so you can basically rely on this mascara, which is wonderful. And finally, lips. So because I've gone quite bold in the eyes, I'm going to keep my lips quite neutral as I do most summer days. And for this, I'm going to use the Everything stick from Topshop. I just am in love with this shade at the moment. I go through phases with lip colours, but I always seem to have a slightly corally, nudie brownie shade as my go-to lip colour. This one is called, this one doesn't actually seem to have a name, but it looks like this, and you can use this on the cheeks and on the lips. I'm not actually putting anything on my cheeks today. I don't wear blusher every day in summer, and I feel that where my bronzer has created that lovely shape, I don't really want to go in with anything like a blush in case it dislodges it. I don't really trust my blush skills. So with the Everything stick, I'm going to apply it directly onto my lips, and because I've already got balm on my lips, it really just sinks in beautifully. I absolutely adore the colour of this. I would describe it as something in between a corally pink with almost a bit of terracotta in there, so a very wearable summer lip colour. If I hadn't applied the lip balm beforehand, I may want to add a little bit more moisture, and for that I would use a L'Oreal Sexy Balm, but because I have plenty of moisture in my lips at the moment, I don't really need to. So that's everything that I do makeup wise, but there's one step that I will never skip in the summer, and that is a setting spray. At the moment I'm using the Estee Lauder Set and Refresh, so because it is so hot, I want something that not only is going to set my makeup in place and keep it looking fresh throughout the day, but also something to refresh me. This one does both, it sets and refreshes, and it has this very fine mist, which is great because I know a lot of them can make your face a bit wet, so I just hold this about 30 centimeters away from my face and mist to set my makeup. Take the hair out the pony, and we are done. So this is the finished makeup look. You probably recognise it from me wearing it most days in summer. Sometimes I tend to switch the products around, but the routine and the general look pretty much stays the same. Really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I feel like I haven't done a makeup video in quite a long time, so if these are the types of videos that you like, then please let me know and I shall be sure to do more. Let me know if you have any ideas, if you would like a drugstore makeup look or a high-end makeup look. I know this was quite a mixture of the two, but yeah, let me know what you'd like to see, and your wish is my command. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.